Hi there, welcome to the channel. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Wyoming. I know what you're thinking. What does this have to do with motor control, motor units, and movement and fat switch fibers? Everything. More than you can imagine. Let me show you one more time. Let's make it a little more difficult this time. Watch carefully. In order: George Washington, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, James Monroe, John Quincy Adams, Andrew Jackson, Martin Van Buren, William Henry Harrison, John Tyler, James Knox Polk, Zachary Taylor, Miller Fillmore, Franklin Pierce, James Buchanan, Abraham Lincoln, Andrew Johnson, Ulysses S. Grant, Rutherford B. Hayes, James Garfield, Chester A. Arthur, Grover Cleveland, Benjamin Harrison, Grover Cleveland, William McKinley, Teddy Roosevelt, William Howard Taft, Woodrow Wilson, Warren G. Harding, Calvin Coolidge, Herbert Hoover, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Harry S. Truman, Dwight D. Eisenhower, John F. Kennedy, Lyndon B. Johnson, Richard Nixon, Gerald Ford, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Donald Trump. You just watch me fire neurons at lightning speed. But here's what nobody tells you. This wasn't just a memory trick. This was motor control. Let me explain. Because the same pathways that let me recall the presidents in order and the states in alphabetical order control how fast I move, how fast I would hit something, and how quick I react to something. Memory isn't stored in your muscles. It's stored in your brain. And your brain fires your motor units. When I train my memory, I'm training that signal from brain to muscle. And when the signals stay strong, the motor units stay alive. This is what I called the Neurogenic Synchrony theory. This is my creation because your memory and your motor control are one signal. And when you lose one, you lose both. So when I'm recalling the states in alphabetical order and the president quickly, instantly, I'm using the same circuits that drive my movements. A meta-analysis published in November 2024 revealed that athletes consistently outperform non-athletes in working memory tasks. Other studies show that athletes with higher working memory capacity can process information more quickly, leading to faster and more accurate technical decisions. Higher working memory capacity allows athletes to quickly process visual information in their environment, such as the positions of the opponents, or when you're fighting a box or whatever, and movements of other players. The quick processing contributes to faster reaction times. This is what the memory does. Research shows that parts of the brain responsible for movement also help with thinking and memory. These areas, known as secondary motor regions, are found between motor and non-motor zones in the frontal lobe, cerebellum, or what's called the basal ganglia. As people age, as athletes age, time taken to initiate a movement, to start a movement, and prepare movements increases. Studies have shown that reaction times slow linearly with age at a rate of 2 to 6 milliseconds per decade. This decline in reaction time affects an athlete's ability to respond quickly to a stimuli in their sport. If you're boxing, it takes longer to react as you age. And this is why I train my memory to slow the loss of this reaction time. Athletes often decline quickly with age because they train their bodies for sport-specific movements, not for complete neural balance. Their routines are repetitive, one-sided, and asymmetrical. throwing, sprinting, or swinging on their dominant side, leading to muscle and motor pathway imbalances. Worse, they rarely train their memory or cognitive pathways, which are crucial for reaction, speed, and motor control. I'm different. I train both body and brain. I strengthen memory, reaction time, and motor pathways together simultaneously, creating a loop that keeps my brain firing and my motor units alive. I'm not an athlete. I call myself a neuromaster. People always say, athletes die young. Fitness doesn't mean youth. And if they do live longer, it's only by a few years. They love to throw these studies at me. Look at athletes. They break down, they age, they die young. Every time I tell people I train my whole body, head to toe, 2 hours per day, they hit me with the same nonsense. But athletes train hard and still die young. And this is how I destroy their arguments. Athletes don't do what I do. They don't train their brain. They don't train their memory. They don't train their nervous system, the true source of power, speed, and longevity. When I train my brain, I'm training my body. When I sharpen my memory, I'm sharpening my motor units. And when my brain fires faster, my body moves younger. Athletes train muscle. I train neurons. Your brain controls everything your body does. Every movement starts up here. The signals that fire your motor units, the ones that let you sprint, jump, and move explosively, are sent from your brain through the neural pathways. When I train my memory by reciting the states and the present, I'm firing up the same neural circuits that control my movement. A key brain area, the basal ganglia I mentioned earlier, is involved in both memory and movement. The basal ganglia executes those movements and controls their speed, power, and position, like a motor's throttle. When I train my memory with memory feats, I'm strengthening those areas, and guess what? These same areas influence how fast and strong my motor units fire. Stronger signals from the brain mean faster, more explosive movements. And that means my motor units stay alive and firing just like they did in my 30s. So when people say athletes die young, here's my response. Athletes train their muscles. I train my brain and my muscles. I train the signal. And that's why my motor units are still alive, because my brain is firing at full power. This is what athletes and fitness trainers don't get. Strength isn't just physical, it's neurological. Athletes train their sport, only few movements over and over. They train asymmetrical, like I mentioned, they leave half of their body behind. For me, I don't train for a sport. I train for total motor control. Every fast twitch fiber from head to toe, symmetrical, explosive, consistent. People think aging is about losing muscle. Wrong. Aging happens when your brain stops sending those signals. Your motor units go silent. And when that happens, it doesn't matter how big your muscles are, you can't use them. Fast twitch fibers don't die from time, they die from silence. When your brain stops activating them, they fade away. That's why bodybuilders shrink. That's why former athletes lose their explosiveness. That's why gym goers who lift only weights feel stiff, slow, and weak. They never train their brain, the source of power, the source of youth. Athletes, even the elite ones, they age because they are incomplete. I stay younger because I am complete. I don't just train my body, I train my nervous system. Like I said before, I train my brain to fire at full power. I train my fast twitch fibers to stay alive. I train my reaction time, coordination, explosiveness, flexibility, balance. Everything that aging tries to take from you. That's why I don't just move like a younger man. I am a younger man because my neuromuscular system is still firing like when I was 30. And this is another reason why there will never be Alzheimer's in my blood. That's why my motor units are still alive. That's why I'm still explosive at 61. I don't train to look young. I train to be young. Because when your brain keeps firing, your body keeps moving. And when your body keeps moving, you never grow old. That's the difference between an athlete and a neuromaster. You call it arrogance, I call it authority. You call it ego, I call it evidence. You call it attitude, I call it proof. Because after everything you've seen, let's be clear. I'm not just talking longevity, I am longevity. Now tell me again how athletes die young.
Yes, nice.
You think that's genetic? You think that's instinct? No, that's neurogenic synchrony. Train your memory and train your body. Both are needed for healthy longevity. Wake up, everyone. The majority of the people are going to laugh at this video. They're going to say, most of them don't train their brain. People just go to the gym to work out. They do their little workouts, but they never train this. This controls your muscles, not the other way around. I'm just giving you the information. I'm showing you what I do and what I use. I train my brain my whole life. Anyway, I wish you the best. It's just one of my tips. See you soon in my next video.